Gather round, ye children, and listen as I tell a tale of a greedy king and a young alchemist named Johann Böttger. This story takes place in Poland, 1701, and it begins with young Johann on a pedestal inside the great city of Warsaw. Johann, absolutely ecstatic, in front of the crowd he gathered with a couple of simple tricks, merged 2 coins, likely copper or silver, into 1 chunk of soft gold metal, with a bit of sleight of hand of course. It was the most convincing display of alchemy the gawking rabble had ever seen. Eventually, Johann's reputation made it all the way to the king's ear, and, upon hearing of the enchantments and chemical voodoo he inflicted onto the coins, the king brought Johann to his castle where he forced him to spin gold for the king's realm. Obviously, Böttger couldn't morph silver and copper into gold, and after a few futile experiments, this harmless liar found himself amongst the raving derelicts in the castle's penitentiary, a candidate for hanging. Desperate to save his neck, Johann begged the king to spare him. Although he failed with alchemy, he claimed he knew how to make porcelain. At this time, this claim was scarcely more credible. Ever since Marco Polo had returned from China with China, the European gentry had obsessed over this white Chinese porcelain. Overwhelmed by this fiscal opportunity, King Augustus the Strong locked him up in the castle with a capable chemist by his side, Arnfried Walter von Schönhaus. With Johann assisting Arnfried on the porcelain project, and with the recent invention of a special crucible oven that reached temperatures of 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit, the research took off. Through trial and error, this dynamic duo discovered the secret ingredients of Chinese porcelain were a mixture of a white clay called kaolin and a feldspar rock, the mixture of silicon and aluminum, that when heated fuses into glass at high temperature. Just as crucially, the pair figured out they had to cook and mix this mixture at the same time and not in 2 separate steps. It's this high heat fusion of glaze and clay that gives true porcelain its lucidity and toughness. After perfecting their process, they explain the procedure to the greedy king, who then thanked them profusely for making him, at least socially, the most influential monarch in Polish history. Unfortunately, now that they knew the recipe for making porcelain, the king locked them both up for their remaining days. And with a lifetime of prison to look forwards to, Johann Friedrich Böttger hung himself at the age of 29. Luckily, this story still survives to this day, and we now know of the heroic triumph of a Polish boy who couldn't defeat the system. In conclusion, he tried his best and he didn't succeed. The lesson is never try. Bye everyone.
ترمحة سبب بيستهلك العرب لا يجوا